Hello, good afternoon, and welcome. My name is Shaquille Nottingham, and I'm here today with my host, Jay. And we're here today at Little Rock Baptist Church in Brooklyn, New York. I'm here today to introduce someone very special in my life, who's been like a second dad to me, my uncle, Richard Law Sr., author of the powerful new biography, Some Things Never Change. Today, my uncle is going to take us back to his upbringing in Savannah, Georgia, and share with us some of his personal journeys through a society still deeply affected by racism, way beyond the Jim Crow era.
Good afternoon, Richard Law Sr.
Nice meeting you, Jay.
Likewise, sir. I wanted to know a little bit about your story before I bust this book open in my house and I read it. I wanted to know more about some of the things that led to you writing this book and what inspired you to write Some Things Never Change.
Well, one of the things that came back to me in my remembrance when I was going through speech therapy, and the lady who was telling me that she was going to try to help me be able to write a check. And in my mind, I thought I wanted to do more than write a check. I wanted to get back to the way I began, to be able to talk like I used to. And I know that the struggles I was going through, I needed to be able to write that book, to be able to, somebody else to be able to read it and understand it and try to grasp some of the things that I was going through.
Connect with you on all levels and stuff.
You're right.
So, Mr. Richard, if you had a couple of words to describe your book, minus what you put here on the back, shorter words, how would you describe your book?
Well, it's to me, it's a real encouraging story where I had, before I had the stroke, I had so many problems on the job, racism, and it was me, just one individual. I was one person there, and 26 white guys.
At a job?
At a job.
So you were stressed out, is this kind of causes the stroke?
Right.
And were they more in a stress-free environment while you were going through harder work and you feeling things like that?
Yeah, well, they could do, what I'm saying is they could hop in a truck and go this place and go that place, and I was the mechanic helper.
Mm-hmm.
I was the mechanic helper.
So you wasn't even the head mechanic?
No, I was the head mechanic helper.
Mm-hmm.
And if I hop in a truck to go to the parts store or something like that, they want to know where you been, ask a lot of questions or something like that. Well, they didn't want me on the job anyway. And one of the things is that several times people would come and tell me different things, and I knew it wasn't right. I'm gonna tell you one good illustration of it. When a guy came to me and told me, said, well, Richard, I got a lot of good friends stop by my house, but a lot of them don't want you here. But the head mechanic, he came and he when I was there, he would call me, say, Richard, come here. And I'll hop in the truck. And apparently it seemed like he was an angel there. He would I'll hop in the truck. He'd say, come on, let's go get a cup of coffee. And he would ask me, he said,
this is a white man, right?
Right. And he would say, what's going on? And I would tell him, and he'd say, well, Ken Colson, that was the road superintendent. He would send him in there to say something like that to me. And what I'm saying is that a lot of things I used to deal with that. I was there, and they had me there because they was getting federal money.
So did they need a black person on the staff? It was kind of
right.
thing, or this before that time?
Right. So and when they did that, they would have to have so many blacks working there in order to be able to get the federal money. I believe it. I have the thing in the book. It could tell you exactly what it was.
And what year was this again? This is before your stroke.
This was before my stroke. This was in
90.
I started working there in '82. I had a stroke in '94. I went to the EEOC in '93, and all that time I never got any justice. And this what I'm saying is this is over 32 years ago. And what I'm saying is it's not just me. I mean, I'm doing fine, but just to think about the other people who really suffer.
Millions of people. And speaking of suffering, during the process of you writing this book, what do you feel like were some of the hardest things for you to write about this book?
Me, I wanted to be able to write this book in order to share with the young people who coming behind me. Mm-hmm. When I wrote this book, my son, when it got published, he said, and he is 20 years behind me. I had him when he was 20 years old, and he said, Daddy, we going through the same thing you went through. So, but a lot of people, I wrote this book, and a lot of people don't get the book, and they don't sit down and try to understand it. Like I talked to a lady the other day. I gave her a book the last time I was up here, and she said I learned so much out of that book, But and I really like to hear things like that, when people are going through stuff, and they. What I'm saying is, with this book, the Lord helped me go through this, because when I was going through it, I was very doubtful, when I was going through, because I was having a stroke, coming out of the stroke, and going to school and trying to better my speech, because a long time I couldn't talk. And so what I was telling you, it was a friend, but now we are married now, but we would study together and study the scriptures and the Bible together and stuff like that, and then she would tell me to be able to, it's gonna work out, and and that's what happened.
And how old were you when you had the stroke?
I was 41, and since you mentioned that, I was 41 when I had that stroke, and that job I was working on did not give me not one dime. Even when I was in the hospital coming out, and the hospital wanted to know how they was gonna get their money, and I couldn't talk at that time, and my mother was trying to tell them where I was working at, and they called the job, and they didn't give them no information. And so when the lady was there, who was in accounting, she was from Albany, Georgia. She said she gave me a card to be able to go back into the hospital, to check my blood and all that kind of stuff, because the way they treated her on the phone, I imagine. And I didn't get not one dime from them. And I imagine because I filed that discrimination suit against her.
And how long were you out of work because of that? Like without, because I'm assuming you were a person who your family counted on, tough times and stuff,
At that time, although I was working, I didn't get not one dime. The only thing I could get, I moved in Chatham County. I would get $37 worth of food stamps.
That's how you would get paid?
$37 worth of food stamps, and I was working on a job taking money out of my check for insurance and everything else. And I mean, Blue Shield, I was paying Blue Shield, it was coming out of my check. It was maybe about 10 years they didn't want to pay me. See, when I got on Social Security, they denied me the first time, and then the second time they went on and put me on Social Security. And then when I was on Social Security, then they still wouldn't, Union Camp, I was getting a little old check from Union Camp. I used to work for Union Camp before I was working on this other job. And they paid me little check once a month, but they still wouldn't pay me. And that's what I was dealing with them, and it was must be about 10 years later they went on and paid me, and they still, when that check do come, it comes way after all of the rest of the little 3 checks come. Mm-hmm. I've been working all my life, and in 32 years I never got any justice from them to say, well, we made a mistake, or we apologized, or we did this, or we did.
Just getting over on people. And another thought I had was growing up in such a racist environment, and what are some of your core childhood memories you feel shaped you into the person way before the stroke, way before any of this stuff?
Well, one of the things was my mother and my father would always tell me, treat people the way you want to be treated. And they would always tell me, as long as the person don't touch you and they just say anything, just don't, if they ain't touch you, don't worry about it, you just go on. And one of the things that shaped me into this, a situation that happened on this same job. You know, what I would do, I would work on the police cars, change brakes and whatever they need to do when they bring, must be about 3 or 4 cars down there. And I work on the police cars. And then I was the mechanic help if I had a motor in the back, wash the motor off and be changing stuff like that. And I screaming out while he's gone somewhere, something like that, me and him. And he was a good man. He was really a good man. He was gone, he went on the road, and I was in the shop, and it was during the winter time, and the heater was on, and I was standing up in front of the heater, and it was maybe 5 or 6 guys in the back sitting in chairs. And one of them said, you know, my cousin married a nigger. She had a baby from him, and I'd like to take a baseball bat and take that baseball bat and kill him. And I was standing facing away from them, and I against the heater, and I knew who he said it, but this is what I'm saying. They wanted me to turn around, but I just like I didn't even hear. You know what I'm saying?
How old are you for this?
No, I must be with about maybe 30, working there, you know. But I said I had a stroke in 41. Then I worked there 11 years, and I left Union Camp and went there. And another situation in this book, I was in jail in Chatham County, and I did my 8 months.
How old are you for this?
I must be with about 20, 21, 22, 23. And I caught driving for drinking driving, but I was in jail for 8 months. And when I went to jail, I stayed there. But back during then, that was the jail was being overcrowded, and that was nonviolent. I only did 4 months, and they released me. But I did my time. And when I got out, I went to Florida. I stayed with my brother a few days, and I wound up in Vidalia. I had another case up there for drinking and driving. I got that solved up there, and then I went back to Savannah. Me and some guys went back to Savannah. And when I went to Savannah, the police stopped us. When they stopped us, and they checked all of us out, all of us was black. The only person they got was me. And the reason why they got me was that judge, and I was in jail for the whole weekend. That judge, he didn't dispose that warrant. I'm in jail for his mistake. His mistake. This is in the book. His mistake. But this was over 42 years. And later he came and I saw him. He said, "You end up with a criminal anyway." So now I would consider that was racism. A judge saying something like that to an individual. So
that's horrible. How much do you feel society has changed and your area has changed in general since you wrote this and even since you grew up versus like how things are today?
You want me to tell you?
Of course.
Do you want me to tell you?
The truth.
The truth. This book is truth. And this book is I'm gonna tell you, it was a case the Supreme Court justice had. It wasn't so long ago. They tried Donald Trump, and then they turned around and they didn't. I would say they didn't do the right thing, because why I say that was because they gave him immunity. What's the word? Something.
Immunity.
Like,
immunity.
Immunity. Gave him immunity. Gave him immunity, and because he was a president of the thing he did.
Multiple felony counts. Yeah.
So now when they did that, then he turned around and run for president again, and he wins. So now then you turn around, he had to have had a case in New York. So when they had that case in New York, the judge, it just amazes me. The people say, the judge told him, say, you have 34 count felonies, 34 count felonies, and I can't do nothing about it. I can't do nothing about it. And look at me, I can't even get what I work for.
That's horrible. You gotten away with it.
So
in other words, you feel like nothing has changed at all whatsoever.
Nothing. It's changing. It's changing in people who want to know the truth, want to face the truth, and who want to do what's right.
Man, you don't feel like there were people like that back in your time, or was it like? Of course, now there's going to be more, media coverage, more people for the movements. But do you feel like there were genuine people back then?
Well, you have a lot of people.
Pre-social media, social media has all these people now.
You have a lot of people back there and here now. It's a part in leadership, in leadership, in
people are scared to speak up or things of that nature.
And yeah, in things, and if you know what's right, you have to say, hey, that's wrong. I don't approve of that.
They were just scared to speak up or things of that nature.
Uh-huh.
So like if you had a message right now for the younger people that you would want them to pass on way after even I'm gone, what are some words you would want them to hear to keep things like, because things are going to stay corrupt. So if you feel like you had to leave some words to anybody, what would they be? Like the younger generation, the people who have no guidance and things of that nature.
I would say that we as people, a lot of people don't really understand when your fathers and your mothers telling you things when you're coming up,
mm-hmm.
and when it come in play, we don't follow that path. When they tell you, well, you need to go to school, get as much education as you can, and when you get out, apply it and try to help other people too.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't do that. And if we do it, a lot of times you get on the wrong side of the track.
I hear that a lot.
And when I say wrong side of the track, a lot of people, once you get pretty wealthy, you don't go back and help others. I mean, some people do, but some people don't.
More people should.
Yeah, more people should. Yeah.
And if there was like something that you felt like you didn't get to put in this book that you would want to say, what would that be?
Well, I'm putting it in the next book I'm working on.
Oh, so it's going to be more of a surprise. Yep.
Yeah, in this book, Something Never Changed, book 1, and I'm working on that now.
How long have you been working on that one?
It's been a pretty good while, and last year I was hoping I would be.
It's your younger self, right? I'm sorry.
Huh?
I'm sorry, I just cut you off, but this is your younger self?
This is my younger me. I was hoping it would come out last year, but it didn't, and then I know why. If it didn't come out last year, it's the reason why. It's something else I need to put in there. That if I wanted to put it in there last year, I wouldn't have missed that convention they had over there at Madison Square Garden. They were talking about Puerto Ricans and all that kind of stuff, and the thing they said, and it's already in there. So, and it's gonna happen.
This book right here, from beginning to end, about how long did this one take you? Because I know you said the second one is you got to wait for the second book.
Must be about 10 years.
It took 10 years, a decade right here.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, because at the time I couldn't talk. I was going to school, trying to help my speech, trying to help my ability, and
Get yourself back together.
Yeah.
How much time do you spend writing? Like, what's your writing process like? Do you spend a day writing a little bit, or do you write when you're inspired?
When
life happens,
When I see something exciting and it's in that it need to be told, and I take in I take and put it in my memory bank and try to, and see, I had to, one time I used to write letters and all that. I can't now because when I had that stroke. And when I had that stroke, so now I get people to,
Help you.
I will dictate it to the individual, and they write it down for me, and then I get somebody else to type it out for me.
That sounds like a good process.
Yeah.
You ever tried the whole like modern stuff? You ever use your voice on the computer?
No.
You're not into that?
No. No. See, because when I working with a lot of different other things, I work with environmental justice and all that kind of stuff, and because there's a lot of things that's going on, when I work with them, and I work with the community, and so, and I try to use my priority, the times of priority, I do this and do that, and when I get a chance.
It's basically when you're inspired and things really happen. And
I take advantage of it.
yeah. And you get a little bit of assistance from your peers and your colleagues, right?
Right. Yeah, and the next book I'm working on is I've went to the people who was older than I am and got the information from them to write this next book I'm working on. So I'm going back from the 20s up into this present time now.
1920.
Uh,
Oh, wow. That's almost 100 years. No, that is
Right.
more than 100 years.
right.
That's work in the making.
Yeah, right.
And one of my last questions, well, at least in this part of the segment, is do you at least have the next name of the book for us? Or is that still a surprise?
No, that's the same thing. I'm gonna use the same title, but it's gonna be book one, because I like the title. Some things never change, and the book is this other book is going further back. And I can tell you a story in that my daddy was telling me. And when I was saying your father tells you and you learn stuff from them. My daddy, he was working for the Coca-Cola company. And the man who he was working for, they was real close. And he told John, said, John, what about going pick up 3 or 4 guys? And he owned a lot of property over in Carolina. And he said, and they used to duck hunting over there. And when Daddy picked up the guys and went over there, and he was waiting on Mr. Pondexter to come. And he said, and when he did come, he said, when he came, he said, then another guy from Carolina came over there and said, well, John, how you doing? He was talking to my daddy. He said, he said, John, said when Jack come, tell him, say if he need any more, some more wire, I got plenty up under the shelter up in my house. You go ahead and get it. And then one of the other black guys came and he said, Mister, you said you got plenty of wire up there. How much you selling it for? He told him, said, son, you can't afford to buy that kind of wire. See why he was saying that, because see, money draw money.
Yep.
See, this man owned the Coca-Cola company, and this man, he was pretty rich over there too. So they, he wasn't gonna sell it to that man, brother. He had the money. So that's one of the things I learned my daddy told me.
And where are some of the places that, you know, people could go shop and look for your book? Is it just like physical copies? Is it online as well?
Well, you can get the book off from Amazon, and I got 5 stars on this book. And you can get them off Amazon. Either you could, my number is 912-713-3485. If you can get in touch with me, I'll make sure you get one.
All right. Thank you for your time today, Richard.
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Your story will be heard.
Thank you for the interview.
Anytime, Richard. So, Richard, I wanted to know a couple of things I didn't get to ask you earlier. What do you feel like is the heart of this book? Like your best written chapter, things that represent this book the most, and why do you feel that way?
Well, I believe it would be maybe the 11th chapter, and I still think about when this doctor gave me, he said that he was going they claimed they were going to check my heart, but they took and turned around and they gave me that anesthesia to put me to sleep. And before he done put that anesthesia in me, and then he leaned over and said, we gonna be watching you. So, and this is what I'm saying. This was a small town, and I imagine everybody knew what happened. I had done filed that discrimination suit against that county, and I believe a lot of the things that happened in there wasn't right, and that's the 11th chapter. You know, that a man who's saying he is a professional doctor come and lean over, you know, he's supposed to be caring for people, and he come and say something like that. You know, he should have his emotions, even if he felt that way, he should wouldn't even say anything about that, because of and that he wouldn't. You looked at it when he said it. It was a racist act.
Of course.
So
he should treated you like you wasn't a human.
Right.
He would have had talked to his white patients in that manner. So.
Yeah. And
I also made me want to ask you, what is like some of the key takeaways from this book that you want some of your readers to learn about, like the Jim Crow era before, back then, and what's going on now? Like, what was some things that you would just need them to like understand about how things aren't going to change, and what represents your book the most? You know.
Well, I knew a guy in Savannah. He bought 3 of my books, and he sent one to his sister in Brooklyn, and he bought another one for one of her sisters, and he had one, and he read the book, and he continuously read that book a lot, and he's a social worker, and he said when me and him sort of talked, and he said, and he would always call me bruh. He said, they did everything but hung you.
Yeah.
They did everything but hung you, and you know, and what I'm saying is a lot of times people don't feel that way. You know, that's just trying to. They don't look at it. They don't look at it until they get in them type shoes. You know, say well.
So it's happening to them or their own loved ones, and they're not gonna feel none of that type of pain. So then, I was gonna ask you, how do you feel? Like, how do you want the readers to feel reading the last couple pages of your book and some of the key takeaways that you want them to grasp while reading the final pages of your book?
I want them to be able to read it, understand it, and you know, I know I have see a lot of times, if you're not black, you was asking me about where would you buy the book, and where could you do this, and how can you own this? See, because if you're black, it's hard for you to. When I first did this book, nobody, they send query letters out to different people. Nobody accepted my book. So, but and I'm still working with it right now.
Trying to get the second book published.
Yeah, and putting this one out there further, like y'all helping me now, and helping y'all too. So, and this is a good media. So, you know, and being able to let other people know what's really going on, you know, and sort of wake up. We never come and pull together and try to work together like y'all are doing now.
Try to tear each other down and stuff.
Yeah, and trying to build each other up and trying to make things happen. And y'all are really y'all. I was saying y'all really making a mark.
I'm glad we could do that for you, sir.
Yeah. So when you know, what I'm saying is, I'm 73 years old, and when I had the stroke, I was 41.
It was about 32 years ago, 31 years ago.
32 years ago. But you know, I'm still trying to make things and trying to, well, like my granddaughter told me, I'm trying to help people. See, when all the books I have sold, all the books I have ordered, rather, I've never not put one dime in my pocket. Not one dime in my pocket.
Yes.
And so, when I order them, if I'm coming to New York, I order maybe 100 books. Then when I go to Miami, I do the same thing.
Give them away? Or
Yeah, give them away.
you really just want people to feel the impact of the book. You don't really,
Right.
You don't care too much about the monetization of the book. Of course, I'm sure you want success in the book, but
Right,
you want the message to be spread across the world. And
yeah, and how they say, and eventually, once you put out, it's gonna come back.
that's what I hope. I hope we could help you sell a bunch of copies to your book, and more importantly, I hope we could get your message out across the world. At least on our stuff, like where we're from, Brooklyn, Bronx area, we could get it out there. And
Once you get it out there, it'll be all over, because you know, I had if put it on TikTok and Instagram and all of these other stuff, and people will see it, and they will be able to say, well, I like to read that book, you know, because it must be something to it.
And part 2 has more insight about, like, can we expect some of the same things from part 2 of part 1, or are you gonna give a whole different side of stories?
Yeah, different side of the story.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Can't wait to get into it.
It's what I'm doing is the second book. What I'm doing is I'm taking some older men, their life stories, and back then they was one of them. He was a maitre d'. He was a maitre d', and I'm gonna make a long story short. He was a maitre d', and before long, he became one of the richest men in the city of Savannah. He owned the first black loan company in Savannah. So, and he had a nightclub, and he had
How long was that open?
He died in 59. But you know, when you are successful, they always have somebody to try to pull you down.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and so what we have to do is we just have to keep on working and trying to make things better for us and our family members. You know, and then they grow up and they can be able to see what you have done.
I got stuck right there in the last part. I'm sorry. I don't know.
So you got like maybe one more question. You got another?
This can't think right now.
You open it?
Yeah. I was trying to think of something more like, you know. Hey, let's pause right here for a second. We can stop. We could walk around this fully.